I am Noriko Bowlful, and this is Uncut News. If you were disappointed with the now opposition's lineup, wait until you see the PPPs. Yesterday, the People's Progressive Party Civic released its list of parliamentarians, and needless to say, some are just disappointing. While you do have a couple young, fresh faces such as Sanjeev Dattadin and, well, I guess that's it aside from the new cabinet members. Anyway, Jaganites such as Indra Chandapal and Clement Rohi are noticeably missing, a clear sign of Jagdeo consolidating power. But you know one Jaganite who isn't missing? Bury, strip and smack Ramsaran. But he is not the only alleged abuser that is back in the National Assembly. Accused child molester Alistair Charlie has also returned despite literally having an open case regarding sexual misconduct with an underage boy. So, good luck with that, guys. Back to APNU and their disappointing list. Yesterday, they defended the lack of small party representatives being given a parliamentary seat. The PNC said it's nothing personal, these small parties just didn't bring in enough votes. According to APNU, the small political parties needed to demonstrate that they could bring in at least 7,000 votes to secure a seat in the National Assembly. But despite making this rule, they didn't even explain how they know who voted for which party. And even though APNU is a five-party coalition, the only non-PNC representatives will be the WPA's chairman, Tabitha Sarabo Haley, and the Guyana Action Party's general secretary, Vincent Henry. Suicide is a tragedy that is all too common in our nation. The reasons for why people do it are many. Some because they can't take the strain of life. Others because of a loss of income. But, according to police, in Regional Division Number 8, 33-year-old minor Dexter Weeks reportedly took his own life after his wife refused to give him some pokey. Last night, before going to bed, she denied his advances, only to wake up early this morning to find Weeks drinking heavily in sadness. Then, in the middle of their conversation, he reportedly up and fatally shot himself. Police are currently investigating the matter, and of course, we'll give you an update when more details arise. Take a look at this sweet, sweet beauty. It's an Audi Q5, and it's most affordable at Guyana's #1 auto dealer. Visit BM Soat at Lot 9 Kroll Street, Georgetown, and tell them Noriko sent you for the deal of the day. Or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM Soat Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. Police may have already made a break in the disappearance of 23-year-old Canadian national Nicholas Ramkissoon Jaipal. This morning, police located the burnt remains of a young man at Molson Creek, East Babis Quarantine. It is suspected to be Jaipal. Unconfirmed reports are that the body was burned by a relative of one of the suspects who was detained after the 23-year-old Jaipal went missing on Sunday. The motive of the killing is not yet known. Two maids were detained and questioned about the disappearance. And here's more news that makes you question society. A 53-year-old man is now hospitalized after he was stabbed for complaining to his neighbors about a loud party after midnight Tuesday at Sisters Village, East Bank, Babis. The injured man has been identified as Gordon Sam. According to Sam, he asked his neighbors twice to turn down the volume. On the third time, his son went instead. However, several party attendees surrounded the young man, assaulted him, and pushed him into the trench. Upon hearing the commotion, Sam ventured to investigate when he was attacked and stabbed. The injured man reportedly drove himself to the New Amsterdam hospital where he was admitted as a patient. An investigation is in progress. The Rona has been beating the economy worse than a rented mule. With economic output contracting by 4%, the government is introducing several measures intended to help heal the wallets and pocketbooks of a nation left battered by the two disasters of this year, the pandemic and the elections. One such move is the sourcing of some US $60 million from various international donors. Additionally, banks will now defer loan payments and reduce various banking fees until the end of the year. There will also be a number of measures to help banks remain solvent as well. There's a whole set of other measures that were announced, but I ain't able to read all that. Oh yeah, and of course the government is planning to disperse stimulus checks, but don't expect the checks to be too stimulating. I'm pretty sure when you break down the math, it comes to under $20,000 a household. But I'm just a cartoon. I'll leave it to you math nerds to tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments with my mouth. And in other news, look out, squatters! The Ministry of Housing and Water is coming for you. They are now clamping down on people who have recently built new structures on reserves within Cummings Lodge and Sophia. Yesterday, they went up and down Sophia, handing notices to the new squatters to either move or be moved. Frankly, I think this is a good thing. Yes, people need homes, but you can't just slap together a shanty anywhere you please. It doesn't look good, and it's unfair to the community. Take a drive through Front Road in South Georgetown, and you'll see why it's always underwater whenever it rains. The digging machines can't even reach the trenches because squatter homes are in the way.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Please help! Somebody just stole my car!
Calm down, sir. It says here you're calling from Agricola. Are you injured?
No, I'm okay. I parked my car to run in the shop and get some top-up, and this might just jump in my car and drive away.
Don't worry, sir. Just activate the tracker in your car and give me the location. I will send the police unit.
Which tracker?
Wait, you don't have a GPS tracker in your vehicle?
No? Hello?
Sir, you're breaking up.
Hello?
Some people are real amateur. Just 16,000 for a GPS tracker at Triple B's, and still he ain't got one. Call 682-8326 and get your tracker installed today.
Perfect.
Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro suffered a defeat in Congress on Wednesday when lawmakers overturned his veto on the wearing of masks in schools, places of worship, and businesses. Congress had passed a bill at the beginning of July which made the wearing of face coverings in enclosed spaces mandatory. But Bolsonaro vetoed the article in question, arguing that it could lead to people being forced to wear masks even in their own homes. I told you all, he is the Trump of the tropics. Take advantage of this fresh business opportunity. Become a digital top-up vendor with Cellular Plus and earn some extra cash. No fancy smartphone or internet required. Just show up with your mango pelter and you're good to go. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 and find out about their special offer. And now for our weird news story of the day. Chocolate rain. Chocolate rain is falling from the sky. A town in Switzerland has just been struck by what is arguably the single most delicious industrial waste accident in human history. A fault in the ventilation system at a factory where Lindt chocolate is made resulted in a fine dusting of cocoa powder spreading, covering the surrounding area and the village near it. Lindt and Sprungili said it was working on fixing the matter and offered to cover the cost for cleaning up the mess. Or you all could just give me a spoon and a bowl of ice cream and I'll have that town spotless. Aha! Moving on to our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. You give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what should the government do with all these donated funds to fight the Rona? 10-4-14 said, the first thing the government should do is to help those non-essential employees who have been prevented from working for over 5 months due to the partial lockdown that was put in place by the previous administration. Second, the funds should provide testing for people in the area that has been most affected by the virus. KS says the first thing that the money needs to be used for is topping up testing supplies and contact tracing efforts. And finally, Renee Wilson said, with the virus increasing so rapidly daily, the government should consider putting the country on a full lockdown and use the money to pay persons to stay home. Only essential workers such as nurses, doctors, police officers, firefighters should be allowed to be on the road. Hopefully, we will all get through this together. And well, this one's a little bit different, but I just had to read this one. And Gambino said, is anything being done with the viewers' poll answers other than just reading them? Is there a follow-up team? I'm suggesting a think tank. Yes, Gambino, it was my hope that someone would do so. I would do it myself, but of course, as I've explained numerous times, I am merely a cartoon. Good answers, people. So tonight, I leave you with this question. As you know, I trust politicians as much as I trust Jeffrey Epstein in a nursery school. Unfortunately, the current government and opposition parliamentarians do little to help my distrust. But maybe Noriko is just jaded. I want to know, how do you feel about the current batch of parliamentarians? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we'll feature it in Friday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bullford saying good night. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.